Hello Summit. So in this tutorial I want to show you how to draft this shirt on display. Now this shirt has been trending. It is a new kind of a two-piece outfit for men. Now most especially those that do RO2W, that's ready to wear. Now they tend to make or sew such outfits for sale. So this tutorial is going to show you the basic thing you need to know or do to draft this particular trouser or shorts or whatever you call it. So, or pants rather, let's call it pants, but it's kind of a three-quarter pants. Now, the first thing I want to let you know in this video is that even if you're a professional in drafting trouser, you should not, conclude that the pattern is applicable to this particular shirt or pants. There are difference, or there are little things you can do that will spoil or make you get a perfect outfit. So if this sounds like what you wish to learn, whether you're a beginner, an intermediate designer, or a professional, kindly stick around and watch this video till the very end. Now, most people be asking me, how do I even get to know all of these things? They say experience is the best teacher. Now, some of the designs you are seeing now has been sewn way back, in those days, and it's kind of a redefining style. So I think one of the reasons I got my name Redefined is because when you see an old outfit or an old style, I tend to add more concept to it to bring it more to life. So that is what most designers do. Even your top brands, the ones you pay allegiance to. So there is no new design anywhere in the world. All designs has been previously made by somebody and it is now redefined to new design and it's being called personal concept. So having said that, now let's get into the main video proper. Now the next thing you need to know is the fabric you are going to use. Now this fabric must be Ankara, it must be Ankara, and Ankara you must use is 2 yards of Ankara. 2 yards of Ankara. And the reason I said Ankara is because Ankara will give you that starchy effect that will make the outfit to stand. Now in the absence of Ankara, you can use a chinos fabric or a linen material to get the same fitting, because don't go and use jonkoso or a very free outfit to get this particular style on display, which you have seen at the first video or the beginning of the video. So you must use Ankara. Now once you have gotten to Ankara, now the next is measurements. So you are going to measure only 4 things. You are going to measure the waist, number 1, that's the real waist. You are going to measure the exaggerated hip measurement. What do I mean? You are not meant to use the actual hip value to draft this short. You are going to add extra at least 4 inches to this before you get that fit that you're looking for. Then you are going to measure as well the exaggerated lap measurement. But in this case, we might not really need the lap. We can just use the hip value and bring it down and you achieve a perfect result. Now the 4th thing you will measure is the length of the pant, which you and I know it is not a full length, it is somewhere at the calf region. So you don't need to measure the knee, you don't need to measure the ankle, just these areas I have mentioned to you is what you will measure. So if you are finding this video interesting, please do me a favor, give me a thumbs up in this video. It's very important because the more people that engage in my video, liking my video and subscribe to my channel, the more my channel goes viral and more people will get to discover me and join, right? Because you will have known about my channel does not mean that everybody have got to know my page or my channel. So do well to share, like, comment, and also invite your friends to join us on this beautiful platform where I teach everything in a simple layman's language for easier understanding. So let's get to the main drafting proper. All right, so here we want to start the drafting process of this particular pant. It can be called a pant or a short, so however you want to call it. So like I said, this is 2 yards of fabric, 2 yards. Now the reason for the 2 yards is because of how free or how big it will be. So I don't want to make it to be less than the picture on display. So now, like I said, to measure this, you must make use of extra values of your customer's hip measurement and your lap measurement as well. But then, because of the fact that you are working with Ankara fabric, you even if you are working with plain fabrics as well, you must also make the measurements in that direction. So the first thing you will do as well is to iron out your fabric. Now this ironing I always do is it helps the fabric to relax, and it doesn't give room for error, squeeze, rumples, or whatsoever. So you iron out. Then after you have ironed properly, then the next you will do is to mark out your baseline. So obviously I will mark out my baseline from here, mark it out properly, just this way, mark it out properly, just this way, and you also mark out the sides. So you carefully do this. You mark out the sides. Now the reason I'm marking from here, this one is not straight, so I have to mark from the one underneath. So you mark out the sides just this way. Mark out the sides just this way. Let me cut it out so that there won't be any confusion or whatsoever. Then we cut out from here. Now, after this, the measurement you took on your customer is what you are going to apply, right? So usually it's, if the person's length of trouser is, let's say, 40, it's usually 4 inches, 5 inches shorter than the real trouser length. You get, like, if the person's length is 40, for example, it's usually 4 inches to 5 inches shorter than the real trouser length. That is why it's being called a combat short or a two-piece short or even a three-quarter trouser, right? Anything you want to call it is so acceptable. So, but once you know what you are cutting or drafting. So here, let me use the blue chalk. I think it's more visible. So you mark 2 inches for your hemming. So here you mark 2 inches here for the hemming or the folding of the trouser, which is normal, 2 inches, right? So you mark 2 inches from here. Then the length of my trouser usually is 42. So since I said it's 5 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches shorter, so I will use 38 to draft it. Let's use 36 so that it will, give us that exact effect. So let's use 36 to draft. So now, from my length, I have checked now that 42 is my length of trouser. So I've removed 6 inches from the length to give me exact of that spot, right? But you know that you can still measure your own while doing yours. So 36 is okay, or 35, however. So, but you must measure. But this is mine. So I'm using 35 inches length to draft that particular short. So invariably, I have removed 7 inches from my own. It's my choice, right? You can do yours to be bigger or smaller. 35 inches is what I am using to get my length of my pants. So this can put food on your table. Like if you're a young designer that you don't have customers, you can be sewing this and be selling, and people will buy. You can sell as far as 15K, 20K for one. You get, depends on how well finished and properly finished your job looks like or is. So here, please pay close attention to this part. We are trying to get a crotch, and the crotch is of great essence in this whole drafting. So remember, I told us that you are going to use your measure the bigger value of the hip. Like if the hip is 44, for example, add extra 4 inches to it. So to get a crotch, you're not going to use the bigger crotch or the bigger hip value. You're going to use the real hip value to get your crotch while you extend the hip measurement which was right. If I watch my previous videos on short drafting, you understand what I said or what I did on this. So my hip is 50, right? So I will mark 12.5 for my crotch. My hip is 50. I will mark, that's my real hip is 50, right? Not my real hip is 50. I'll mark 12.5 here. So now I will extend the line all through this way. Now, for me to get that exact hip value I am looking for, that will give me that nature of shorts, I will use 14.5. Do you get? So I add extra 2 inches to this. That's by 4 now. Do you get a hair? So 2 inches to this. Then I mark this way plus extra 2 again. That is my value now of my hip. Then at this point, I will now bring down whatever value I have here on my crotch extension, 16.5. Transfer it to the hemline, to the ankle, 16.5. Transfer again to middle of the trouser, 16.5. Then bring it down straight line. It goes all through this way. Please watch attentively. It goes all through this way. Now, my waist measurement is 40. That's my real waist, which is what I'm going to use, 40. I won't use extra inch or extra allowance. They add extra 1 inch to your waist circumference. So this short as well can be back elastic and front rope, right? So in case you're making for female, at this spot, this is the stage you tend to change some things. Everything I said here retains for female. So if you're making for female, see what you do. Take the value of your hip, this hip, real hip here, extend it to the waistline, right? And then start here. Mark your waist measurement backwards plus extra 1 inch. Then here we have a curve to give you that fitting that is always visible on the female aspect or female outfit, right? So having said that, then let's continue. Then from here, you continue in this form, and then you bring your hip curve, bring your trouser curve, and then place this way. Make your curve, it goes all through that way. Then slant your waistline by 0.5, which is normal, and then you can use this as well. You connect this way. Then the pocket depth here is 8 inches. It's a bit bigger than the regular trouser, 8 inches deep. And then here you can make here to be 2.5 inches, which is normal, and you are good to go. So you will cut out this. Now let's cut out this from here. So let's cut out this from here. You cut out this from here, all through this way. Cut it out. Now remember that, like I said, the back panel will be back elastic and front rope, because it is going to be more convenient enough using elastic and rope to wear this outfit than using belts. The belt will not give you the perfect feeling that you might be looking for. Belts will be adding more weight to this. So this is for this, and then you now place this. Out in this form. Please watch attentively. I will say iron out the fabric again, so that everything you are doing must be relaxed. So you place this out in this form, and then you place the back panel to come in this way. The front, rather, sorry, you place for the front panel to come in this way. This is the front panel, right? To come in this way, and then watch what I will do on the back waistline. Watch what I will do on the back waistline. So here, for the back waistline, we are going to raise here by 4 inches. Now, the reason for this raising is to make sure that we are including the back band alongside the back panel. So the back panel now, we no longer have a band. So it is advisable that you do it this way for easier usage, right? And then at the back waistline, you are going to add extra 2.5 inches here, 2.5. Then here you add 2.5 as well, or you mark 2 inches. Now, please note importantly, if you are making for female, there will be slight difference on drafting the back panel, right? So let me bring the phone closer. I hope you are seeing what I am doing. So for the back panel, if you are marking for female, there will be a slight difference in the back waistline. So where is the difference, or how will you do or apply the difference? The difference will now be that you would push the back waistline to go out more this way by extending this by a certain value. I think that will be a tutorial for another day, so that you will not mistake this, but this is solely for male outfits. But in case you're a lady watching this and you want to use this method to stitch for for yourself or for your customers, this is what you are going to do, right? So it's not hard, it's just as simple as ABCD. So let me try to explain it at once so that you get the value immediately. So you are going to extend the back waistline to come out like 3 inches here, and this line will curve this way, and from here you mark your waistline to come backward, just the same way you did on the front, and then whatever you have, add it up. This deep waist value here will now be pushed inside. This helps to reduce the possible gaping that appears on the back waistline of clients when they put on their trousers or shorts. But since we're making for male, we're going to continue with this pattern, right? Then we are going to extend the crotch line here by extra 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches, right? And then you bring your hip curve. Watch. Extend this line this way. You bring your hip curve and flush it here. You are not going to add the 2.5 inch you used to add on your trouser this way. By so doing, it will make the back panel to be excessively big. So this front covers both front panel and the back panel, right? So just extension of the crotch area here. And then you now carefully connect the crotch points in this form, and then connect it also to this very point. So this is how you draft the back panel, and here you start your cutting process. So this is as simple as this. So if you have paid attention to this, you understand that it's straight to the point. Don't forget to ask your questions, comment, share this video so that more people will join us on this platform. So I will also drop the sewing tutorial next. So once you have watched this video, just kindly check the next upload that will come immediately after this one. That is where you will see the sewing tutorial. I will try my best to make it come out immediately so that you have a complete tutorial for yourself, right? So this is it. So remember that the back panel was higher by 4 inches at the waist region. That's the main thing you need to do here. So here you have drafted the front panel and the back panel. Give a notch on the pocket points you have chalked. Now this is how it looks like. This is the panel that you are going to have, right? So this is how it looks like, the panel. Now this will be joined this way. Now the reason I did not put much allowance again at the ankle area is because when you stitch this, it tends to reduce the side moderately and it fits perfectly on your lap and your hip value. Remember that the hip is what we use to bring the line down, so no need to add any allowance extra so that it doesn't get to be a boot cut or get to be very baggy at the hem region, right? So that's for the front panel. So the band is a regular band which we mark at 4 inches, 4.5 inches width. So here we mark the band 4.5 inches this way, 4.5 inches this way, and then we continue in this form. So this is what we have. Then the length of the band will now be the circumference of your waistline in front, plus extra 4 to 7 inches, right? So this for the band. So the sewing tutorial will cover the gumming aspect of it, or rather I can still teach you what to do here, so that you don't wait for the gumming to come as a different video and make it to be not be bulky. So remember how to gum pockets. You gum diagonally and fold in this form. Gum the both ends of the pocket, fold, then gum your band just the same way we gum Ankara trousers. Gum it halfway. I'll show you this gumming when I have gummed, and then you follow suit to gum yours in the sewing tutorial. So the next we are going to deal on will be on the combat pockets that you saw on the fabric. So I think black fabric would be ideal for the combat pockets so that it blends properly on anything we are doing. But if you feel you want to use white, maybe the top might be white, or the top of this outfit might be orange, yellow, anything, you can get the fabric to use as pockets so that it can tally or match with whatever top you are going to use to wear it. But black is a neutral color that will suit anything you want to wear. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.